Back in the 2150 and starting a new little project. This is one I looked at, I don't know, it was over the winter time or something, but a friend of mine down at the train track, they put the septic system in. He did the one over here, and these people need this Swale. David Knoll was giving me a hard time that I was saying swell wrong. I guess it's swell. So anyway, they got a swell or swell rhymes with whales, what he said. So hopefully that's a little bit better, David. But I actually dug the frost footing at this house. That's what me and her were just talking about. They moved in last November. I want to say I did it sometime in 19. They said it took like 18 months to get this because his site is just so bad. It's got so much gumbo, and you also can tell it's got rock, but it's a lot like the train track job. Because I remember when we were out here, it was just ridiculously wet. You can see it even is still kind of pumping right well. A lot of it's also silt and sediment from all the rain. But yeah, it's just kind of gumbo junk. I mean, there's nothing really solid out here. When I looked at it, I didn't own this machine or have this or anything, and it actually really didn't dry out till sometime in June. And then about the time I tried to come out here, we'd get some rain again, or I got tied up at the train track job. So here I am. What is today? The 26th of July. So it's probably been 6 months or better since I've looked at this, but now it's got a bunch of ragweed on top of it. Now, like I said, I was initially planning on using the 260 and the 250, but I had this loaded up this morning and I wasn't too far. So now I think I can come in here, because about where I just drove through is 8 inches higher than what it is up here by the house. But what I'm going to start with is just kind of trying to strip all the weeds and junk like that off and just get it where I can kind of see the dirt and read everything real good. And then, like I said, I'm not going to do, I may dig down a little bit deeper up here by the house, but as you can tell, they haven't been able to do a whole lot, just because it's pretty rough and rocky, and then it was wet. So I don't know, this may not be the best idea to use this, just trying to rake the weeds off of it, but I was just going to kind of come down here and skim down it, and probably just maybe try to really widen this thing up and kind of scratch it or dig it out with this. And then maybe tomorrow I'll bring the loader back out here. I finally got the glass glued in it and the frame and stuff like that, so it's sitting in the shop today waiting on me to, yeah, I mean, that's, I just have to flip around and use the blade, because it is digging in way easier than what I want to. But anyway, yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I got the glass, it's sitting in the shop with the frame and everything all glued in, so probably this evening, if I get done in time, I'll try to put that back in. The AC's working. I still got to change the oil on it. This has been over at my friend's shop, but we'll get it back over here. I think I can kind of rough grade it with this. Like I said, use the blade, because it's like, it goes down to that big hill and then it kind of makes around the bend, so it's 300 feet or better. It's got fall like past that hump or whatever. The rest of the way, I mean, it's got like 18 inches of fall, which you could probably use a little bit more. But you know, once you get past this hump, it does kind of have fall. But it's like 2:30, so I figured I could get a good chunk of it roughed in and started today with this, and then tomorrow I'll just bring the loader back and kind of try to dress it up from there. I may also now, I think some of these piles, she said, it's kind of the topsoil that they stripped off, so we may try to spread some of that on here. And what we may do is just kind of get everything roughed in and then come back about mid-September and try to spread the topsoil and seed it then, because trying to start a yard out here with no shade and not being able to put a ton of water on it in August is going to be a little difficult. That's really kind of my hope for this machine, is I can start doing some of my bulk work and then maybe take a little pressure off the loader. Now with this one, I'm not going to be able to afford to get a loader in the next year or two, so maybe I can keep the hours down on it and kind of use it more for my finish work. Because you can do a whole lot of stuff with the excavator. I would like to get a few other buckets, like a big 60-inch grading bucket, and then I like to have a ripper for this, so when I do trees and stuff like that, I'm not using a 42-inch bucket to dig around trees and rip them out. Know if I'll need much else for it. I can, you know, like a compaction wheel, or I probably will need like a 24 or a 30-inch digging bucket, just so I can, if I got to dig pipe or utilities and stuff like that, I can have room in the trenching box and stuff for one of those instead of this 42-inch bucket. I love this thumb and bucket setup. It may be, I don't know, I mean, it may be a touch heavy for this machine. It didn't have any problem picking it up, but you can tell if I don't have the blade down, it does kind of rock a little bit if I just swing out there real quick. But I think the thumb weighs 1,200 pounds, the bucket weighs 1,400. So what are we, 2,600? I don't know what the coupler weighs, so there may be 3,500 pounds out there on the end of that stick. I don't think it weighs a whole lot more, maybe 300 or 500 pounds from the PSM and the ESCO bucket setup, but man, maybe that other one did just the same. It just seems like, if I don't, which I'm bad about not remembering to put the blade down, I like to be able to just dig and back up like I'm doing and not have to raise it and lower it every time. But I gotta hand it to work, bro. I mean, that thumb is like inch wide plate steel. I mean, that is a heavy, heavy duty thumb. I don't foresee me bending it on anything. So I'm not complaining of that any means. It just may be that I gotta watch. Excuse me. I just may have to be kind of careful how I, like if I'm trying to side load or do anything over the side, it may just bounce a little. Like I said, it's not bad. The machine can handle it, because like you saw when I was dredging that pond, I'm still picking up like heaping buckets of mud. It's just when you swing around real quick and then kind of stop, it kind of rocks forward a little bit. I kind of do the same thing in the 260, because I'm, like I said, real bad about not digging with the blade down or anything in that. But I'm going to carry on with this, rake some of this off, and like I said, I may jump on these two sides and take the blade and kind of rake off what I can. Just, it may not level it up perfectly, but at least if I can get all the weeds and junk off of it, kind of read the grade in the ground a little bit better than having all that grass on there. So yeah, when we get this done, we'll pick it back up. Back in the loader with the new front glass, and the air conditioner's working again, which is great because it's 93, it feels like 105, and the humidity is like 68%. So I spent the morning getting this all put back in, the wiper motor on. So yeah, I'm like completely drenched, but I knew this was really dusty and dry and it was going to be hot, so I hope to get this door on last night, but it was still at my friend's shop. By the time I got back, he was already gone for the day, so I didn't get to do it till first thing this morning. So, but yeah, I'm trying to cool off. Like I said, I sweat a lot anyways, but I'm like, my shirt's like wringing wet right now. So, all I'm gonna do for right now is just take the loader and kind of just slick this up a little bit. I kind of briefly checked it last night. It does have fall. Some of it's only an inch or two, and then it goes down 3. So I need to touch it up, and then I got to do a little bit around the house. But I'm just going to try to cool off for a little bit and slick up what I can. It's still a little soft in the middle, so I think the loader is going to be better than the 2150 for that. I may get the 2150 and kind of scratch out some of the rock where it makes that curve and take some of that down, but yeah, for now we're just going to slick up what's here, and then we'll get the laser back up and fine tune it. But it's so clean that it's not going to last that way very long out here. It's dusty. swell is roughed in, so I got all that dressed up in the back. I think they were out on the porch a minute ago, but yeah, got it rough graded. It's got 38 inches of fall and about 280 feet, I think, 275, something like that. So it's not a ton, but it's enough to get the water to flow on down there. And like I said, I think we're just gonna leave it this way for probably 6 weeks, middle of September. And then we may get back. I gotta dig out a little bit of rock in those two piles, but some of that and that one right there is some pretty decent kind of topsoil, or for what kind of topsoil we have in this area, it's pretty good stuff. So yeah, about the second week in September, we'll just look at coming back and spreading that on here. And I think he said he'd worry about seeding it. I don't know if he's gonna straw it or not, because I don't think he's got enough garden hose or water pressure to water all the way down at the end. So it may just be throw some dirt out and then put some old field fescue or Kentucky 31 out. But at least now, if it does rain anymore, they won't have a pond right there by their septic tank, and everything should drain off. So we get the loader fired up. Everything's nice and dusty after today. I already got the 2150 loaded up and moved, so we'll get this thing loaded up and call it a night.